Hey guys, Lytane here, and thank you so much for checking out this video, and if it's your first time, then welcome. If it isn't your first time, then you may know that I have a segment on my channel called Question Time, where I go into a little bit of a rant with all of the questions and unanswered questions that I had at the end of a movie or a TV show or a video game. But today, I want to have a look at a movie called The Answer to see if it will help me solve my problems and to see if it is worth it. The Answer was released in 2015, made by an indie filmmaker named Iqbal Ahmed, who both wrote and directed the film. The movie follows a man named Brid. Yep, Brid. That's not a name. Good start to the film. Well, Brid is played by Austin Hebert, who to me looks like a stunt double for Jeremy Renner. You know Hawkeye? Is it just me? Am I crazy? Is there something here? I don't know. Anyway, Brid is an introvert, like a super introvert, where he doesn't want to be noticed at all and wants to stay at the bottom of the corporate ladder. He is the mail delivery man at a stock company, but he is different. For one, he can focus on stocks in an extreme manner. He gets a mysterious package from his mother who has been dead for 20 years, which is kind of odd. Inside the package is a strange device that I'm sure will be essential to the plot. He notices a woman named Charlotte, a new temp in the company, played by Alexis Cara. She also notices the mailman and thinks that he has nice eyes, so advances on him pretty fast. They go on a date and talk about their tragic backstories before going back to Brid's house. Oh yeah. Except his house has been ransacked and his boss has been killed and placed there by a Daft Punk reject who was attacking our heroes. They get out and they are now on the run. Charlotte and Brid decide to team up as she is afraid that the killers might come after her, and then they go and try and figure out what's going on. So who is Brid? How the heck did he get that kind of name? Why can he focus so well, and who are these bad guys, and what is his mysterious backstory? I can't wait to find out the answer. The Answer is a sci-fi action movie with mystery elements and a romantic subplot, which is a good mix of genres in one. The plot for this movie, though, is it's very, very basic. Basically, you can see everything coming along and you know exactly what's going to happen. Like the one character that doesn't want to be noticed is suddenly the big focus of all the attention. One of his parents is gone missing, the other one is dead, so of course there's going to be mystery there. And even the reveals that happen throughout the movie are easily guessed, and you can see where the movie was going pretty much the entire way through. There's nothing too original here. So let's take a look at the actual film and some of the things that stood out to me, both big and small. The start of the relationship between Charlotte and Brid is, in a word, awkward. He stares at her from across a room and then she decides to sleep with him, I guess. I think this because she goes to his office for a letter opener and tries to seductively crawl across his table. It is so odd and comes out of nowhere, and no one acts like that, especially for someone that you've just met. She almost kills herself in this scene as well by impaling herself on that letter opener, only to be saved by Brid, which leads to their first date. They also imply a lot of sex in this film, or they don't? I'm not really sure because it's strange in the edit. In one scene they go to a hotel room and it's implied sex, only for him to wake up the next day sitting on the couch, implying that they didn't have sex, so I'm not sure which one to believe. After they get attacked, Brid then calls his best friend. He says to come over and Brid just nods. To a phone. What an idiot. Also, why the hell is he using a goddamn flip phone in 2015? Brid has that mysterious device from his mother and he's trying to get into it all day, but to no avail. Then, after the first attack, he just taps the screen and it turns on. That's it. He is such an idiot. Wouldn't you have touched every surface of it at one point when you were trying to figure out how to get into it? But nope, he's just an idiot. Let's go to the first big fight scene of the film. It's pretty much these Daft Punk super soldiers beating the holy crap out of Brid. And then he uses his super focus powers to dodge one single punch of the bad guy. What a guy. They get a tablet from the library, which Brid doesn't know how to open, even though it asks for his favorite color. And he's like, I don't know, how do you open it? And then even the device says, do you need a hint? Like, are you that stupid? You don't know your own favorite color? And then he finally opens it and we get the video from his dad who abandoned him saying, I am an alien and we are trying to colonize Earth, and then I found your mother, fell in love, and had you, and you're a hybrid, so you're half alien, half human. This leads to Brid freaking out. It's one of the best freak out scenes I've seen in a long time. He goes outside and throws the tablet on the floor, chucks a massive hissy fit, and then he just sort of falls to the floor and he puts his face on the concrete and then just lays there for who knows how long, because Charlotte has time to leave and go get some water or coffee or something, and then she comes back and he's still in the same spot. He's just given up on life. It is so funny and it is so silly. But we've had too much excitement. We need to slow the movie down with a breakfast scene that just is there to show that Brid has a photographic memory. He sees the menu at a passing glance and he can memorize everything that was on there. And that makes Charlotte ask the question, so Brid, what exactly are your powers? And that's a very good question. Up until this point in the film, what have we seen Brid do? He's memorized the menu. Wow! That's photographic memory, isn't alien, not very impressive. He managed to look at sales at the beginning and focus really hard on them. He also dodged one punch out of like the 50 that guy threw, and then he threw one back. He beat a video game with a lot of focus and some dexterity, and that's about it. Wow, what a great repertoire of powers. But I'm sure you're all asking, why is Brid such an underachiever? Why doesn't he want to be noticed? Well, strap yourself in for this doozy of a story. After his father left, his mum died and he was put into an orphanage at the age of 10. He wasn't there for long though, because he was adopted, and the first weekend with his new foster family, he was playing table tennis with his foster brother. He beat him, and then his foster father saw and decided to verse him, and Brid won again, 11-2, and it's implied that he used some of his like super focus powers to win, but it's not really shown or anything, so who knows. Brid was ecstatic on his victory and he was cheering, but when he looked around the room, no one else was happy. The next day they took him back to the orphanage, so he never wants to be noticed or achieve anything again because of this traumatic experience. This is the dumbest story I have ever heard. You beat your foster father at table tennis so you were unadopted? What the actual hell? I expected him to be beaten or something, you know, something that would require an action and reaction, and then he's like, oh, I never want to be beaten again. I understand getting unadopted is also really bad, but he got unadopted because he beat his foster father at table tennis. That is the most dumbest thing I have ever heard in my entire life, and it's played so seriously. But what does every good movie need? A montage, and this really doesn't show anything except for his good memory and the fact that he can't aim. Worst montage ever. But at least it ends with him having sex. Maybe for the first time, maybe not. I don't know, the editing is really bad. After their maybe first time in the bedroom, Charlotte makes a joke saying, oh, you better stay interesting, or, you know, I might have to leave you, which is a very bad thing to say after you've just, you know, shared a bed with somebody, and he takes it the wrong way. Another really big flip out. He goes like way over the top, and he's just like yelling, and he's like calling out all the bullshit from the rest of the film, and he leaves. And this is just so they can break up, so then they can get kidnapped, which does lead to my favorite shot of the film. This shot of coffee right here, it only goes for like 5 seconds, but it is a beautiful shot of coffee. I was like, wow, this is my favorite shot in the film. That's not really good if that's my favorite shot of the film, but I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. Now that they've been kidnapped, the bad guys do some tests on Charlotte, and they find out that she is pregnant. Wow, that was quick. How long have these guys been on the run? It might be like 3 days, or it might be 3 months. I have no idea. The sense of time in this movie is really bad because of the shoddy editing. How long did that montage last for? I don't know. How many times have they been having sex? I don't know, because once again, the shoddy editing is really, really bad. Maybe they've had sex plenty of times, or maybe it was that first time where he blew up, in which case she got pregnant, and then she got kidnapped the day after, so she wouldn't be able to be showing. And then look at this picture of a fetus. It's great. How bad this movie is. Oh gosh. Like I said, Brid and Charlotte are captured, leading to Brid's blood being taken, and then the epic fight, the final fight of the movie against the final boss. Or should I say, Brid gets walloped again. He gets beaten up again, completely smashed. He does get a couple of punches in this time, but by the end, he is just getting wailed on. Whilst getting completely pulverized, Brid figures out that the aliens can't breathe on Earth, so he takes out the breathing tube of the alien and it kills him. How the hell did he figure that out? He also figures out that they only wanted his blood so they could genetically alter themselves in order to survive on Earth so they can colonize it. How did he jump to that conclusion? During the fight, another bad guy gets away with the blood, leading to our heroes having to do a joint sniper shot where she aims because he's bad at it, and then he does his super focus in order to get the shot just right. It's a little hokey, but I liked the idea of both of them working together to take down the final bad guy. But it turns out that even though the aliens can't breathe Earth's oxygen, it doesn't really kill them because that leader guy comes back and tries to shoot and kill Brid. He then dodges the bullet pretending to be shot, only to steal the alien's gun and shoot it back at him. And it's really badly edited. Like, you see the turning of the gun straight up, and then it cuts to a wider shot, and he's got the gun perfectly in place. Like, there was no... It just looks really bad, and I'm sure the alien could have got a shot off before, he turned it around. But he finally kills him. They call the cops, and then the cops clear everything up, and they live happily ever after. But that leaves me with a few questions. So, I'm sure you all saw this coming. The movie The Answer has questions, so I'm gonna have to go into question time. What about the invasion of Earth, or his father, or why did his mother die? And what about all those other women that they have been kidnapping and trying to get pregnant? Do none of their babies survive? Is that it? Or maybe their hybrids don't come out correctly and then the babies don't survive? What's happening there? How did his dead mum send him a package that led to a book that no one ever found in 15 years? Was this done 15 years ago before she died, or just a little while ago? Because his dad has a captured collar on, implying that he did this from jail, or at least was about to be going to jail and be punished for something like making Brid. If he was captured, then when did he record this video and leave it in the first place? That's so easily compromised in its current spot. Also, if his mother sent the device and his dad left the message, were they working together? What tipped off the other aliens to Brid? They had a tracker on him at one point in the film, but when did they put it on him, and how did they find him in the holiday home after they ditched the tracker? Why did it take 30 odd years for the aliens to go after Brid, and what are his skills? He can move quickly and kind of focus really well, but what turns it on and off, and why don't the bad guys have it on at all times? It seems they only turn it on when they need to, which is kind of odd. How did the aliens know all about Brid and his life, like where he worked and who to go after, like his best friend? And why did his boss get killed, and why was his boss planted in Brid's apartment? Why go through the trouble of framing Brid if they just wanted to either capture him and get his blood, or just use him for his blood? It seems like an unnecessary step for no real point. Are the cops in on this conspiracy on the alien side, or were they just being manipulated by the aliens? How does capturing 3 people, 2 of which Brid shot, clear the heroes' names from the other crimes of the film, where Brid still has his fingerprints on the knife that killed his boss? They hand over the aliens to the cops, and that's gonna be like crazy proof of alien life if they weren't already in the know-how. Like I said, they could have been working with the aliens, we don't know. After this, they let our heroes go free. Wouldn't the cops have like a million questions for the both of them? And wouldn't they want them to come back to the station and answer all these kinds of questions? Not only that, what about the other crimes Brid was framed for? This does not solve those crimes. It's of no surprise that I find the answer to be not worth it. This is Iqbal Ahmed's very first directorial and written debut, and it shows. The plot to the film is very bare, and it just hits all of those cliche beats that we've seen a million times, and there's nothing too original here. The pace of the film is all over the place, where it doesn't really know how to flow from one scene to another. The acting isn't horrible, but it isn't very good either. The bad guys are poorly defined, the plot has a few places that it could have gone to make it a little bit more interesting, and it doesn't. Brid is a horrible name for a main character, and his powers are poorly defined. By the end of the film, I had more questions than anything else, and this is a movie called The Answer, for crying out loud. Honestly, it is not very good, and it's not even one of those so bad it's good kind of movies, because even though I laughed at certain points of the film, I wouldn't recommend you watch it at all. So guys, tell me what you thought about The Answer. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you even know it existed? Because I sure as hell didn't. It was on one of my lists, and then I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, oh, this doesn't look so bad. And then I watched the actual movie, and I was like, wow, this is pretty bad. And then I looked it up, and apparently I'm the second person on all of YouTube to ever do a review on this movie, and that's just crazy. I can't believe that no one else has seen this movie. But then again, it is pretty bad, so I'm not surprised. Anyways, leave some comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Table tennis. They were playing table tennis. During the fight scene, another bad guy gets away with the blood, which leads to me yawning. I've got the Tetris song running through my head because I've been playing Tetris 99 for the Switch, and it is so good.